riotforge released a whole ass comic. A new comic has been released and my emotions are overflowing. This is a prologue to the 𝗵𝗀𝙧𝙤𝙀 game and it fills in all the blank spots we were left with over the years. So you can imagine my excitement cause oh my god. Now there's a lot of subtext, so as I'll go through the comic, I'll also give you a short breakdown of each character so you will understand where they are located within the lore, and also so it would be easier for everyone to connect everything together. The comic follows Katarina 7 years after 𝗏𝗏𝙀𝙀's death. 𝗏𝗏𝙀𝙀, for those who don't remember, was the previous Grand General and the last Emperor of Noxus. He was the one who sent the Noxian army to invade Ionia, then guess all Noxians and Ionians involved. Yeah, 𝗏𝗏𝙀𝙀 wasn't really in control of anything, it was just �ស៊𝗏𝘀 playing 5D chess. She basically made him obsessed with immortality, kinda made him believe he's gonna die, and out of sheer paranoia he sent the army to Ionia to look for artifacts that could extend his mortal life, which ended in nothing but death and trauma for everyone involved. 𝗍𝗏𝘀 also hoped that 𝗨𝗏𝘀 is gonna die there since he was one of her many pawns, but that backfired, like really hard. I will expand on that later. So after 7 years, Noxus has changed for the better, and what was once an empire of brutality has become something more. Of course, there were still warbands who wanted to follow the old ways, but 𝗨𝗏𝘀 just sent his trusty little assassin Katarina to take care of it. Because although Daddy Duka 2 didn't accept her and literally tried to have her killed, 𝗨𝗏𝘀 did, and so she became a major Noxian patriot with major daddy issues. The one who was sent to kill her was none other than her younger stepbrother 𝗏𝗨𝘀, who tried to assassinate her for failing her mission, but couldn't bring himself to do it. The scar across her eye is a reminder of that encounter and is also the reason why they're on good terms. Ever since then, Katarina and 𝗏𝗏𝘀 have been meeting in secret, but she kept herself hidden from the rest of the family. And now, after 3 years since their father was killed, as the eldest daughter of House Duka 2, she's supposed to be the head of the house. But due to her daddy issues, she refuses because she believes that she is not worthy, which 𝗏𝗏𝘀 calls her out on. I've always loved 𝗏𝗏𝘀. I even mained him at some point, so seeing their interaction is everything I've ever hoped for. I mean, up until now, he was just an edgelord, but now we also know he's a caring brother who genuinely worries about his sister's safety and well-being. Especially because she's extremely reckless and completely infatuated with Burp Daddy. Same. See, Katarina believes 𝗨𝗏𝘀 is not like other power mad rulers, and that if he was, he wouldn't have given up thrones and tyranny, created the 𝗏𝗏𝘀𝑟𝑒x, and brought all of Noxus with him. But 𝗏𝗏𝘀 doesn't feel the same. In chapter 2, we learned that Katarina went to Piltover, and that unlike 𝗏𝗏𝘀𝑚, who saw weakness in other nations, she actually chose to use their strengths. Like this 𝗨𝗏𝘀𝘀 she used to unlock a door with in seconds, which would have taken 𝗏𝗏𝘀 like 20 minutes, even though he's the best lockpick in Noxus. After she recklessly slays yet another Noxian boomer, she meets up with 𝗏𝗏𝘀 at the sheltered tea house, where he rips into her for risking herself again. At this point, he doesn't know whether she's fighting to prove her father wrong or to honor him, but either way, she might end up dead, and he doesn't want to be there to see it. He only hopes that when she figures her shit out, she'll come back home. We're then introduced to a new character named 𝗏𝗏𝘀, who seems like the owner of the tea house. The only thing we learn from their short conversation is that Katarina and 𝗏𝗏𝘀 are really good friends, 𝗏𝗏 lets her stay in a room, Katarina has done something for 𝗏𝗏𝘀 which she's extremely thankful for, and that both siblings trust her or else they wouldn't be spilling all their tea right in front of her. Jesus fucking Christ, Cat. Just because you helped him die doesn't mean that he died honorably. He died fighting as he wanted. For all he did for Noxus over the years, we owed him that. You could have done as father expected and kept yourself safe. You could have killed him quickly and painlessly, but no, bitch, you want to be extra about it. 𝗏𝗏𝘀, through all the wars and the blood he's shed, Kogan didn't fear death or pain. If he did, he would have just retired. I just chose to do it faster. Bitch, at this point, I don't even know if you're going to die trying to prove father wrong or die trying to honor him. Either way, I'm not going to sit here and watch you do that. When you got your shit together, come back home. Fine. Ugh. Thanks, Ran. For the tea, the room, and, well, everything. Bitch, shut the fuck up. You know you always have a place here. After their brief introduction, everything gets blown to shit. Someone broke through the skylight. Someone who's extremely skilled in hand-to-hand combat, who can read Katarina's every move, and who she could never get away from. Her father. So so sorry. Chapter 3 then starts with a super colorful and trippy panel. Katarina is waking up to a familiar scent her mother liked to use and tries to get up even though her vision is swimming. Everything about it feels wrong, especially when you remember that 𝗨𝗧𝙀, Katarina's mom, was part of the Black Rose, and that one of Jerry's little friends is yelling right there on the left. FYI, but we don't really know much about 𝗨𝗧𝙀 besides the fact that people just kept trying to assassinate her and that she groomed her youngest daughter, 𝗬𝗨𝘶, to become a Black Rose as well. Due to all the assassination attempts and the fact that 𝗬𝗨𝘶 was also killing people left and right, they kind of moved to 𝗨𝗪𝚋 to lay low, but soon after when 𝗬𝗨 came to power and her husband kind of helped him with that, she lost her shit, because she knew the Black Rose is gonna be fucked. So she sent 𝗬𝗨𝘶 to obtain 𝗨𝗪𝚋's godly powers, only for it to backfire and her daughter end up as a snake. So there's still a chance that 𝗨𝗨𝘀 might be alive, but 𝗬𝗨𝘋 is fucked for life, and neither Katarina or Talon know anything about it. Anyway, through the fogginess, her father is telling her that he has no time for her games, and Katarina is just trying to wrap her mind around whatever the fuck's going on. Her dad's supposed to be dead, but Marcus brushes her off with, "Bitch, you live in a world of lies and magic. Are you that fucking naive?" Now, in chapter 1, Talon calls her blind, and now Marcus is calling her naive. So I feel like this is foreshadowing to the fact that she too will be eventually manipulated, if not already. Marcus goes on to tell her that his fake death was all part of a secret mission, and how 𝗬𝗨 basically betrayed them both. That he became corrupted beyond recognition, and to make sure he could take down their whole family, he had to put her on a pedestal just so he could knock her down, which is why he wanted her to do an impossible mission that he knew she would fail. The mission: infiltrating the fortress city of 𝗬𝗪𝘃 and killing King Jarvan III. For a moment, Katarina asks herself if the men who honored 𝗬𝗨's coup against Darkwill can really be trusted. After all, her father was loyal to him and always had done what's best for Noxus, and so she accepts it. Even though one question still remains: is that her real father? But I'll expand on that later. In chapter 4, after Katarina manages to infiltrate the castle, she ends up stumbling upon Lux and saving her from being killed by her own guards for being a mage. Katarina then name drops Garen and tells them he sent her, which makes them run away. Lux, however, doesn't believe her. Katarina then learns that Lux is trying to save a mage prisoner despite knowing that it might destroy both her family and country, and ends up relating to her on a spiritual level when Lux tells her, "I can't pretend to be something I'm not, and I can't hide in comfort while all those people suffer. I have to stand for the 𝗬𝗪𝘃 I believe in." Girlies, gays, theys, and respectful heteros, Luxana Crown Guard finally grew the fuck up. Katarina then realizes that they're not so different from one another besides Lux's annoying earnestness, but by the end of the day, she's doing what's best for the 𝗬𝗪𝘃 she believes in the way Katarina believes in Noxus. Killing her will only do a favor to the hierarchy who sees Lux as a threat, so she ends up breaking her shackles and letting her go for her principles, determination, and power, all which makes the perfect little Noxian. Scott, I know you were cackling hysterically knowing exactly how I feel about this, but I'm gonna give it to you. You're right. Once she pulls the one out of her ass, she could potentially be a great Noxian, but that's only if she stops being Mary Sued and gets called out for all the shit she should have done but didn't do due to her privilege. Not to mention that this brief heart-to-heart moment she had with Katarina made a whole ship sail, and now I hope future Katarina will break up with Garen just to end up with his sister. Because Garen is a racist piece of shit, and Lux can be fixed. Once Lux runs away to save 𝗨𝗪𝘃, Katarina manages to sneak into the king's secret bunker where she waits for him. There, she stabs him in the back, completing Mission Impossible, throwing the entire kingdom into chaos, and making J4 believe it was all Silas. See, here's the thing. In the Gary novella, after the Mage Rebellion, the Crown Guards were receiving very well-forged letters from their uncle up in Knockmerge. Later we found out it was all 𝗨𝘀𝘀 in disguise who allegedly tried to instigate an attack on 𝗬𝗪𝘃 by manipulating Lord Castellan into working with Noxian warbands. Garen and his squad were almost obliterated, but Quinn brought reinforcements right on time, and after they managed to fight them off, Garen noticed a red-eyed raven who watched them all along. My guess is that this whole Katarina thing is all part of LeBlanc's plot to fuck 𝗬𝗨 over, because that's what she's been trying to do ever since he blew up her plans. Like I've mentioned before, LeBlanc hoped that 𝗬𝗨 would die in Ionia. But not only did he survive, he also trapped a demon and rose to power. Why does she want him dead? Well, besides the fact that he has full access to the immortal bastion where Mordekaiser is chilling and who she wants to kill, cue angry djent trail noises, he also has a demon that tells him everyone's secrets, including the fact that She faked her death, was Δ𝗪𝘀ć's puppet master, and although the Black Rose are believed to be dead, they're actually all very much alive. Well, maybe besides the ones that she manipulated him into executing, including his parents. My guess is that LeBlanc knew Katarina would be able to infiltrate the castle and kill the king, so she drugged her and manipulated her using her dad's image when she was tripping balls. Katarina, who has been desperate for her father's approval her entire life, seized this chance to do just that, thus putting LeBlanc's plan into motion. Thing is, 𝗀𝗏 is probably fully aware of everything that's going on right now because his raven demons are literally everywhere. But we will have to wait for the next chapters to see if I'm right. This might also be the other way around, even though I doubt 𝗀𝗏 will have to manipulate Katarina, as she has already been loyal to him from the very beginning. It's also important to point out that although Marcus claimed 𝗀𝗏 betrayed him, in 𝗀𝗏's interaction with Katarina, he says,
"Do they know who killed your father? Or do they still blame me?"
So let's hope that next week, Chapter 5 will shed some more light on it. Huge thanks to everyone who worked on this comic, from lining to drawing to editing to writing. You guys did an incredible job, and I just wish that we could maybe have a physical copy to add to the collection. But that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment for the algorithm gods. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can check out my Patreon or donate to our Ukrainian crowdfund page. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next time.